Stop. Do not pull the trigger on that current Mac Mini just yet. If you think the M4 generation is fast, what Apple is cooking up for the M5 release isn't just an incremental upgrade, it is a complete paradigm shift. We are talking about a machine that could make the current Mac Studio look slow, all for the price of a mid-range iPad. The supply chain leaks have just dropped, the estimated benchmarks are looking terrifyingly good, and if you care about your money, you need to know why this year is the year the desktop PC finally gets shaken to its core. Welcome back to TechVibe. Let's tear into the upcoming M5 Mac Mini and reveal why patience is about to pay off in a massive way. Let's get right into the heart of the matter, which is the silicon itself. The biggest reason to hold off on your upgrade is the fundamental architecture of the M5 chip. While the M4 was a fantastic refinement of the 3nm process, the M5 is rumored to be the first chip where Apple fully unlocks the potential of their next-generation GPU architecture. Sources indicate that Apple is moving to a highly advanced node, potentially an enhanced version of TSMC's 3nm process or even early 2nm technology. But the nanometers don't matter nearly as much as the practical performance you will feel every day. The headline leak here is a massive 45% jump in GPU performance compared to the standard M4. If you are video editing, rendering 3D scenes in Blender, or exporting 4K footage, that is nearly cutting your wait times in half. This isn't just about raw speed numbers on a Geekbench chart. This is about architectural efficiency. The M5 is expected to introduce a new dynamic caching system that manages on-chip memory far better than its predecessors, meaning that even the base model with fewer gigabytes of RAM will feel significantly snappier under heavy loads. But the secret weapon of the M5 isn't just raw speed, it is intelligence. We know Apple is betting the farm on Apple Intelligence. The M5 chip is rumored to feature a dedicated neural accelerator inside every single GPU core. This is different from the standalone neural engine we are used to. By embedding AI processing directly into the graphics cores, the M5 Mac Mini will be able to handle local large language models and complex AI tasks without breaking a sweat. If you are a developer working with local AI or a creative using generative fill in Photoshop, the M5 will feel instantaneous in a way the current generation simply cannot match. This is the difference between an AI feature taking 5 seconds to load versus happening in real time. Now we need to address the elephant in the room, which is gaming. For a decade, the words Mac and gaming haven't belonged in the same sentence. The M5 might finally squash that narrative for good. With the rumored third-generation hardware-accelerated ray tracing, the M5 Mac Mini is shaping up to be a legitimate console competitor. We are seeing more developers porting AAA titles to macOS, and with the raw graphical grunt of the M5, you could be playing high-fidelity titles at high frame rates on a silent box that sits under your monitor. It won't replace a top-tier dedicated gaming rig with a massive graphics card, but for a device this size, it is becoming untouchable. The leaks suggest that Apple is working on a new upscaling technology similar to DLSS, exclusive to the M5 architecture, which would allow games to run at higher resolutions without taxing the chip, keeping the system cool and silent. Let's talk about the form factor and connectivity, because this is where the pro users are going to get excited. The redesign we saw with the recent Mac Mini, which gave us that ultra-compact, Apple TV-like box, is here to stay. Apple rarely changes chassis designs back-to-back, so expect that same tiny footprint that disappears on your desk. However, what is inside the ports is changing significantly. For the M5 Pro version of the Mac Mini, we are expecting full Thunderbolt 5 support. This is a total game-changer for creative professionals. Thunderbolt 5 doubles the bandwidth to 80 gigabits per second, with a boost mode of up to 120 gigabits for video-heavy workflows. This means you can drive multiple 8K displays at high refresh rates or transfer terabytes of footage to external SSDs in seconds. If you are a video editor who works off external drives, this single feature is worth the wait. The base model M5 will likely stick with Thunderbolt 4, which is still plenty fast for 99% of users, but that Pro distinction is becoming sharper. We are also expecting an upgrade to Wi-Fi 7 across the board. If you have a modern router, this means lower latency and faster wireless transfer speeds, which is essential if you are using your Mac Mini as a media server or streaming high bitrate content. So when can you actually buy this thing? Authentic supply chain reports and release cadence history point directly to the spring of 2026. Apple typically releases the new silicon on laptops first, followed by the desktop variants. We expect the release cycle to be aggressive this year as Apple tries to cement its lead in the AI hardware space. We are looking at a potential announcement around March or April, or at the very latest, during the Worldwide Developers Conference in June. And the price is the best part of this entire story. Despite the massive performance leaps, Apple is under immense pressure to keep the entry barrier low to get more people into their ecosystem. We predict the base M5 Mac Mini will hold that sweet spot of $599 in the US. The M5 Pro version will likely sit around $1,299. For our international viewers in premium markets like the UK, Europe, and Australia, expect the usual currency adjustments, but the value proposition remains the same. Nothing in the Windows world offers this level of power per watt at this price point. You would have to spend double the money to build a PC that matches this performance in such a small form factor. The question you have to ask yourself is, do you need a computer today, or do you want a computer that will last you for the next 5 years? The current M4 is excellent, but it is the end of the current cycle. The M5 is the beginning of the next one. It is the chip that will fully realize the promise of AI and high-end gaming on the Mac. If you can hold out for just a few more months, you aren't just buying a computer, you are investing in a machine that is future-proofed for the era of local artificial intelligence. We are watching the supply chain like hawks for any changes to these specs. If the release date shifts or if Apple decides to drop a surprise M5 Max into the mini chassis, we will be the first to let you know. The gap between the current generation and the M5 is looking wider than we thought. If you want to make sure you don't waste your money on the wrong Mac, you need to stay locked in. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because as soon as the first physical benchmarks leak, we will be breaking them down right here on TechVibe. Don't buy blind, subscribe and stay ahead. Catch you in the next one.